5 people on. If you want to type on the chat where you're tuning in from, what state tonight, that'd be awesome. I think we may have about all 50 states represented if everybody jumps on here, as I was thinking. All right, Illinois. Melissa, I hope it's not snowing there. We're going to start in about 10 minutes, guys. At about 8:50 Eastern. Oh, good, Melissa. I'm glad it's not snowing there today. Hi, Amber. Hi, Kayla. It's up to you guys if you want the video or not. It's perfectly fine. If you can mute yourselves as you hop on, that would be awesome. Okay, I see you. People connecting. As you're hopping on, if you want to put in the, if you go to the group chat, I put a link if anybody wants to share anything tonight. And also, if you just like to type in where you're tuning in from, what state, that would be, or country. Good. We do have some people who said they're coming from like Australia, Japan, etc. That'd be super cool. All right, seat 9. Hey, Kathy. Kathy, I see you, but I don't hear you if you just said something.
Hey there.
Hey, Kathy, how are you? Good to see you.
I am good. Getting all organized.
I know. I have this huge setup behind me. Thanks for all your support with this. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, thanks for doing this. This is awesome.
Yeah, I can't even count how many responses I got. So this is going to be interesting.
Big party.
Yeah.
Go.
You made an instrument?
You actually.
I see some people hopping on. It's awesome.
Yeah, but I did without.
You can mute yourself as you hop on. That would be great. Also, in the comments, the link. If you want to share something tonight, kind of keep it organized. We're expecting a huge crowd.
Hey, Joe, it's Todd Holbrook.
Hey, Todd, how are you?
Good, buddy. How about you?
I'm good. Thanks for hopping on tonight. Appreciate it.
Do you want any help, watching the chat or anything, Joe?
Yeah, if you can watch a chat, that would be great. I put the link in there for the for people who want to share tonight, and I also have the Ann. I also have the Google Doc up on my other laptop, Kathy.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Kathy.
I work with this girl. Did you meet her the day? The day you stopped.
Starting about 5 minutes or so.
How's Eastern Iowa doing, Ann?
Actually, I'm in California.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Still from last week?
Well, no, we move out here in the winter.
Oh, okay.
I get my 93-year-old mom, who, you know, still lives in your city, out of the California winters, and most of our families here, my son and his
Oh, awesome. Awesome. That's
well,
good.
yeah, but now she wants to get back to your town so she can be close to her doctors. So yeah.
Well, we're doing good over here yet. So.
How's your dad? Good?
Good. He's staying with me right now, and
Oh, that's nice. Good to see you.
yeah, it's good to see you too.
Hi, Ann.
Hi, how are you? Oh, it's so good to see these faces.
I know, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. How's the new job?
Good. I'm back in the classroom at the moment.
That's what I heard.
I'm hoping to transition back into coaching in the fall.
You should, by
Yeah.
golly.
It's given me some new empathy in terms of remembering what it's like to be in the classroom, because it is no joke.
Yeah.
For sure. We're gonna wait about 4 more minutes. We got participants going up, up, and up, which is awesome.
But you started, Joe.
Yeah, this is so good.
It was just an idea. I was hoping to get 20, Ann, and then all of a sudden it ballooned to, I'm like, I need a secretary. If you're just hopping on in the chat, there's a link. If anybody wants to share any best practices for online learning from where we are right now, if you want to fill that out, I got the responses up on my laptop to my right, so I can kind of manage.
You want to share it again because it's not in my chat, and then I'll keep popping it out again.
Sure.
Because I probably anybody who came on after you, won't see it, but I can keep throwing it out.
Okay, I'll put it up right now.
Kathy's a guru there.
Yeah. Does that go through, Kathy?
Yep, got it.
Cool. We have a few people who said they want to share, so that's awesome. 39, 40. Cool. We'll start in about 2 minutes, guys.
Should we do the Brady Bunch theme song?
I know, right? It's amazing the power, I mean, the real power of social media. Just something, an idea to, that would be cool to, just to need to see people and, you know, collaborate in the crazy times we're in.
Right.
Yep.
So we'll get started here in a minute. We actually have about 12 books to give away tonight.
Ooh.
So that's exciting. Let's see if Zoom can handle all these people.
It's had to do a lot of work over the
right.
last.
For sure.
And it's nice that they're offering it for free for schools, if schools didn't know that, so.
Yeah,
Take advantage of that.
I know, right? Our district uses Google Meet and some other Microsoft Teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
Meeting with Zoom.
Right,
I don't know if
beautiful.
y'all can hear me or not, but I can hear you all, but I cannot see anything.
Your camera may not be on. I can see you.
Yeah, my camera's on. It's like the window went away for some reason. I tried to troubleshoot on my
Is
end.
it behind something?
I don't know. It's crazy. I can hear everything, and I don't know. I've closed out everything else. I'm like one of those awkward people in the meetings, I guess, that's having
It's all good.
the problems here. I don't know. At least I can hear you. I wish you didn't see me. That's a negative.
Well, you can
There's
hit
no
the
judgment.
stop video, but we're all in the same boat.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Get my card taken away?
Doing great.
My credit card taken away?
As you're getting
Doing great.
absolutely. Hey, Sherry.
Oh, there you are.
See
So,
lots of people.
Hey, how are
Awesome.
you?
All right. So as you're jumping on, if you could go ahead and mute for the sake of background noise, that would be fantastic.
She wasn't gonna punish me for getting bangs.
There may be some conversations that some of us may not want to hear in the background. This is awesome. All right, so I just want to thank everyone for jumping on tonight. My name's Joe Capadonia. I'm about an hour north of Atlanta, Georgia, incoming. Just a real quick about me. A lot of you I know, some I don't. This is year 20 in education for me as a teacher, leader. I was an instructional coaches, administrator. Currently, I'm the director of middle schools in Esau in Forsyth County, with some Forsyth County peeps on here tonight, which is awesome. I also want to, the real idea for this, guys, was last week as we're starting to go through this, as we're all going through this, was just hearing the need and watching the need for collaboration and wanting the social interaction that we all long for and what we do every day. And just, I'm like, well, what about just a big old, start out with just instructional coaches and it turned into teachers, principals, which is awesome. Just to collaborate and share best practice for online learning. Because again, it's a struggle for all of us right now, I think. I thought, why not just have a forum where people can share what's going on? I also, at the end of this, based on the feedback from all this, I created a website. So there's a bunch of links. We can share things there. I'll share that at the end. There's a Google Doc that's in the group chat. You may see that, that Kathy's helping me keep refreshing. If there's something you want to share tonight, go ahead and fill that out. I have a laptop here to my right, keeping track of some people are going to share, because to facilitate a group this large in this platform, just trying to keep it organized. We'll go from there. So really, that's just kind of what was the dream. I thought I'd get 20 people, and I needed a full-time secretary, I think, to manage all the invites and requests. I see 83 people on right now. Is unbelievable, which is super cool. I know we have some super shout out to Kathy Parrott for helping me, Jim Knight for supporting this, and his group with Michelle and Ann and Sharon, who I think are all on tonight. Sherry St. Clair's on. There's a whole bunch of other people. Got some really great players in education. And before we start with the sharing, you know, Jim, Kathy, if there's just some words of encouragement, Jim, if you want to unmute and just a minute or two, just any words of encouragement you have for all of us before we get going.
Well, you know, if anything, educators are resilient. So if there's any group who can pull through a time like this, it's going to be educators. And I guess the only thing I've been thinking recently is that this is temporary. You know, we're not still experiencing the Spanish flu. That took a while, but it was about a year. But, you know, someday, probably, since we're a century later, we're going to figure out the solutions quicker. And pretty soon we'll look back on this crazy time. And it gives me a lot of hope. I just see so many generous sharing things going on, and I see the resilience of educators. And B, I know it's temporary. So those are the thoughts that have been going on in my head.
Yeah, appreciate that. And I see Lissa's on and Krista. Kathy, anything you want to share?
Oh, I just echo what Jim, I mean, it's so nice to be seeing people collaborate across any virtual space, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, FaceTime, and not just with educators, but with family. I mean,
Absolutely.
I FaceTime with family twice today, and I think, you know, maybe this is what we needed to all just slow down and find some balance and find some gratitude, so that when we are back at school, we have that sense of empathy for others and what they're going through, and it can certainly help our coaching skills. So I just applaud all of you for, especially those that are school-based, who are working with your coaches or your teachers throughout this. If you're a teacher and you're working with your students, if you're a family member and you're working with family members and homeschooling kids, as Jim says, we'll get through it and we'll be better for it.
Absolutely. Lissa, is there anything you want to share?
Hi to everyone. It is great to see you. It has just been, as Jim and Kathy said, it's just been awe-inspiring. We had probably about 24 hours, maybe 48 hours to completely turn the way that we actually do teaching. And I have never seen a group of educators step up like they have in the last week or so. But it goes beyond just trying to create lessons. It's actually about caring for kids in a way that is just impressive, making sure they have food and that families are cared for, there's childcare needs. I mean, it's just been everything. And it is just absolutely heartwarming. And I truly believe that this is temporary, Jim, but I do think it will have a lasting impact on the way we do school from here forward. I don't think this will be taken lightly. So thanks. I'm so glad to see everyone tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Ann, anything you'd like to share? Ann Hoffman, are you still on or not? Thought I saw her. Michelle,
It
oh,
would
hey,
help
Ann.
if I unmuted, wouldn't it? Forget about the little button. I was trying to keep all the noise down. No, I just thank you, Joe, for doing this. Thank you, everybody, for being on. Thank you for the noble work you do in uncertain times. And I'm just looking forward to hearing what all of you experts out there have to say. And if we can help at ICG in any way, we are happy to do it. But you all are out there in the trenches doing the hard work. And so I look forward to hearing what you all have to share. Thanks again, Joe, for doing
Absolutely. Yeah. Krista, is there anything you want to share? Krista Lay?
Oh, hi, everyone. It's close to bedtime here and I've got a bunny on my lap. So I just wanted to say that this is truly inspiring to see everybody here, and anything that I think we all can do to just support one another, lift each other up during this time is most important, and just empathy and giving each other grace, because I know that you all make such a huge difference every day, and people are truly, truly understanding the scope of the work that you do. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, all the people who have spoken so far, all the links to these are people I've gotten to collaborate with over years, and just, I know have huge hearts for what we're trying to do together and collectively work for students. And they're willing to share. And I have the links to all their web pages and stuff on my web page tonight. So you don't have to search for it. It'll be one place for you. There's also going to be a contact list for everybody to fill out their contact information so we can continue this. I'm hoping to do this again in 2 weeks, because it's obvious we're going to be in this situation for a while, right? So I see several people have filled out the form to share, which is super cool. But I just, again, thankful for what everybody's doing and getting out again. I thought if I could get 20 people, it'd be awesome. And here we are, we have like 96. It's unbelievable from around. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to go through my list. So if you're, for those of you who are sharing ideas, again, just 1 to 2 minutes of what's working for you. And then any questions can be in the chat, or you can unmute to ask. Or we just want to keep it to a couple minutes for each person. We have about 8 or 9 people who want to share some ideas tonight, which is super cool. And then also what I'll do when I share the web page at the end, there'll be a Google form in there for you to put your name, the subject area, and the link to resources so we can all track it. So people aren't trying to frantically try and write stuff down tonight. Again, it's late for a lot of us. We probably have long days, and there may be a beverage on the side of the table, which is super cool if it is. If not, no big deal. So that's just kind of how we're gonna, does that work for everybody?
And I do
All
see
right.
some questions going in the chat, you know, the ones that, you know, that can be answered by others as we're
Yeah,
going.
absolutely.
So pop the chat open so that you can see right now there's a conversation going on about like platforms that
Yeah.
schools can use that isn't Zoom. So, you know, just keep asking those things in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kath, for sharing. All right, so Jim, if you want to go first, I see you got a few resources you'd like to share.
One thing I would say that might be helpful for people doing virtual coaching is that Swivel, I was trying to look for the link, but it's swivel.com, so SWIVL.com, has made their platform available for free. So if you want to share video with anybody, let's say you have somebody who's doing a distance coaching and you're a coach and you want to share the information, that's going to be really helpful. And I'm sure there are other similar type things available, but when we studied virtual coaching, watching video of people doing whatever it was they were doing was an essential part of it. I'll just say we're going to be posting a lot of free stuff. I'll probably do a Facebook Live conversation this week and every week just for people to ask questions, but there's a whole series of free webinars we've put together and a lot of other resources. We're going to have a resources page for distance learning. And if you just watch on our Facebook or on Twitter or on other places, I can't think of anything else right now, but our website, there'll be lots of stuff. We want to get it out there. We want to do, just like everybody else does, whatever we can do to help people move forward. So one thing we think would be helpful would be to sort of sort through all the different resources and create a place where people can find different things. And that should be up soon, maybe by the end of the week, but very soon.
Awesome, thank you. Lissa, you're up next.
All right. Well, I have, I think we're inundated. I've never seen so much action on Twitter and through Facebook. I mean, everybody's sharing free resources. Companies have really stepped up that usually charge educators subscriptions. Everything's free, but that actually causes some issues for our teachers, and I'm sure you guys are facing that. They are just overwhelmed with where to turn, especially depending on the different stage you are in this process. And so one of the things I did was I actually created a website of resources to support families, teachers, and leaders. And I'm trying to kind of wade through all of the information. So I'm happy to add that to our resource list, and I'll send the link in the chat. And you can look at it. I just think that's something that might be helpful. And I know you guys are probably doing the same thing as just, as Jim was saying, just where do you go? What's next? I do think the resources for families is a big piece. How do you set up a schedule? How do you manage meals? Just all of those different things that parents that aren't used to running school at home may need some tips for. How do I talk to my children about the coronavirus? What videos are out there? All of those kinds of things. So those are some resources that hopefully you might find helpful. And I would love to know what you have found that you would think would be great to add to the list.
Awesome. And we'll definitely put that stuff on the webpage this evening.
Great, thank you.
Out there for everybody, yeah.
So we may not have to do our page if you do your page. We can just link to yours.
It's muted. I didn't know.
Yeah. And once I give the link to my webpage, you'll see all you can put all the stuff there. That'll be available. All right, Angela, who's a district office, I think you're up next. You said you created a hyperdoc. You want to unmute?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Angela. I'm in Kansas. And I was wondering if I might share my screen to show you the hyperdoc just really quickly.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am the instructional coaching coordinator for an urban inner city school district, and I'm trying to find the right one. Oh, that is not the right screen.
Angela.
Give me just a second. Here we go. Okay, so can you guys see my HyperDoc okay?
Not yet.
Okay.
And if you
It says
can't, you may
what's-
just have to put it in the chat.
Okay, because it does say my screen sharing is paused right now.
Okay.
Yeah, all we see on my end anyway is just a black screen that you started to share your screen.
Right.
Okay, I'll stop sharing the screen then and just explain it. So if you guys aren't familiar with HyperDocs, it's just a nice way to compile a bunch of resources for students, for teachers, for me in particular. I actually created it for my instructional coaches. And I have multiple sections that I intended it to be a dynamic resource where I will add to it on a daily basis of information I find out on the website. So that way they know anything coming to them will always be housed in that one document. So I have a section on supporting teachers, one on the virtual coaching cycle, another section on helping them handle stress, anxiety for themselves and also for the teachers that they work with. We will have weekly Zoom meetings to be able to check in with coaches. I'll work with the coaches one-on-one as well. So I have a section specifically for that too. And then of course a section for professional learning, because if you're an instructional coach, you know that you do that constantly. So that's one of the resources that I quickly put together to help support coaches as they're supporting teachers. We also have a fantastic website in our school district that our communications department and teaching and learning department created within just a couple of days, where all of our teachers can go and access core resources, technology videos. So making sure that it's a unified effort across the district and it's a unified voice. And we also have like Wakelet sites where you can house a lot of different websites that would be really great resources for teachers as well. So it's kind of like a website, but you can link it to a lot of different things. And I'd be happy to share any of that stuff inside of the website that you guys have created.
Awesome. And thank you for sharing. I just shared that, Kathy. I don't know if you see it. It's 916. Sites, google.com, view educators, PLC, educators PLC. It's Kathy, I don't know if you see that or if everybody sees that.
I was doing an and I was muted. So
there,
yes,
I just put it again. So there it is.
Yep.
Awesome. So thank you for sharing that, Angela. Appreciate it. Kayla Duncan, online learning planning template for Scythe.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
I can. Hey, Kayla.
Hi, so I have the pleasure of working with Joe in Forsyth County as a personalized instruction coach, and I'm also on Julie Stern's To Save the World Learning Transfer team. And something we noticed is that we really needed a way, like Lisa said, to bring all these tools and resources and help teachers streamline the planning process. And so we've come up with a template to help walk through a week of online learning at a time. And my other teammate, Trevor Alio, is on the call also, and he's created a wonderful infographic that he was going to share also.
Awesome. Can you?
Oh, yeah. Hi, Trevor Alio here.
Hey,
I'm
Trevor,
in,
how are you?
doing well. How are you? I'm in Northern Virginia. The infographic is just kind of meant as a tool to contextualize. It kind of gives some steps for how to use the online template that we have, depending on how familiar teachers are with Julie's work. Some teachers are going to be able to dive right into the template. But for those who are less familiar, we feel like it'd be helpful to have a document that kind of onboards teachers for teaching for learning transfer. So you check out that document first and then jump into the template and start
Is that on the
using it
website?
too.
Is that on the website right now?
It is, yeah. We'll share a link as well. But
It's
yeah,
on
like
I put the link to the website on the web page I created already. So it's
perfect.
So
yeah,
absolutely awesome. Thank you for sharing that. John O'Neill. Thank you, Kayla.
Yep, I'm here. So basically, I didn't really put anything particular on there. That wasn't me. But one thing I do want to share is when we left school on Friday the 13th, we were planning to come back on that Monday. Our state had given us this impression that things were not necessarily okay, but that we didn't have to drastically cancel school. And then we got the call that we were definitely going to be out of school for, and right now we're out of school till what they're saying is April 7th. But one thing that really impressed me, and I think that it's something that we need to keep in mind, that we tend to forget. We're all about learning and about getting education going again, is that we need to make connections with our kids. And I really was impressed how our administration put that emphasis first, to reconnect with the kids, because there was a lot of confusion last week, because that was the first full week we were out. And that was the big emphasis by our superintendent and our principal, was to reconnect with every kid. They really encouraged us to make phone calls and find ways to reconnect with all of our students. Being a special education teacher at the grades 9 through 12 level, in a small school district, and when I talk about small, like our graduating class is 72, that was really important for us, because the kids needed to know that we cared about them. And I think more importantly than worrying about grades and worrying about classes and things like that, we need to reassure them that they mattered first. And I think all getting together all kinds of resources is wonderful, but there are people that can do that. The most important thing is that we needed to connect with those kids first. And I think that having an administration that was able to direct us in that manner was really important for us. And obviously we had tech people that and teachers, and somebody mentioned Twitter and all these things. I mean, personally, my inbox became inundated with a million things, and I'm sure we all are nodding our heads here. I can see that. And so people were great about sharing resources, and we were great about sharing resources out. But again, that connection was sort of the most valuable piece that I think people almost forgot about. And so that I thought was important to mention.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. All right, Rachel McComb with Screencastify, another colleague of mine. Are you on, Rachel?
Yes. Can you see me?
No.
No? Okay.
I can't see you right now, no.
But you can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, so
now I can see you. Go ahead.
You can? Okay. All right. So Screencastify to me as a coach was the easiest tool to get out to any teacher, even your ones who aren't so tech savvy. And it really does provide that personal touch to your lessons. So our teachers, I mean, I have PE teachers who are not tech savvy at all, who are loving it. And basically a few different ways we've used it is to present new content. So you can like have your Google slide show up and you're talking as you're going through it and presenting. Solving a math problem, the kids can see you right there writing out a math problem as you're talking through it. And then you easily get that link and post it, or even giving your kids a tutorial to navigate a site. So I think there's so many resources out there, and to me that was really the most valuable, easy, best bang for my buck to show the teachers. So.
Yeah, can you share that? Email
Yes,
it to me and I'll put it on.
It's free right now. Yeah, well, I'll put that on there, yes.
Awesome, thank you for sharing
You're
that.
welcome.
Appreciate it. All right, Tracy Jackson, online resources, math specific.
Yeah, so our district put out some general ideas on what to do, and I found that my math teachers were pretty frustrated by that because it didn't apply to the math. And so I compiled a whole bunch of resources specific to what their needs were. So I sent out a survey and said, okay, what are you interested in? We're all in different places. Are you interested in social emotional learning? Are you interested in your own professional development? Do you want to just get together with content teachers and then put together a website that was math specific for them so they felt heard? when the initial rollout went through, they just felt very like they weren't even a part of it because a lot of it didn't apply to them. They're not going to really take a virtual field trip and feel like they're teaching their students math. And
Right.
so that seemed to really help to connect them. And I'll put that link in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Super cool. All right. Stephanie Smith, do you want to share a couple of your ideas that you put here in the response for share out?
Yes, hold on. Can you guys
Sure.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm in a district, I'm in Baltimore County in Maryland, and we still don't know when we're going back. Allegedly, we're going back Monday. I don't see that happening though. And so I was asking about a platform to use because we did find out we can't use Zoom, but what I'm working with my teachers on is if we are going to be asynchronous, how to establish a culture and climate online for kids, including either like the use of a rubric to clearly explain expectations for discussions, like how often they want kids to post, when they are going to be giving information, because we don't know yet if we're doing synchronous, asynchronous. They're still trying to work all of that out. But I'm just trying to think ahead of the curve once we get the word from our district that a lot of my teachers, I don't want them on the, they don't, some of them are worried they're going to be on the computer or the phone 24/7.
Right.
And they're also dealing with kids at home that they're trying to get educated. So just some ideas about setting a schedule with your kids if we're not going to do it school-wide and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't see if you see in the chat, but Jim Knight just posted, what about using Marco Polo for asynchronous video? I don't know if you've heard of Marco Polo before. It's a free app.
I haven't. We have very specific, I have to make sure that it's one of the approved
Yes, right.
apps. Like we got an email today saying you're not allowed to use Zoom because the kids need to download something. So that's why I was asking, and I'm going to try Google. I don't know if the kids have Microsoft Teams, but I'm going to try Google Meets. And
Yes.
we do like using Zoom for the direct instruction piece. So I have shown some of my teachers how you can share your screen and record yourself, because some of them are worried like this direct instruction go out the window, and absolutely not if it's a new concept. So
Right.
those are just some of the ideas I'm introducing.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. All right, Brad Favli.
Hey everyone, I appreciate you guys taking the time to let me sit in on this call and everyone getting together. My name is Brad and I'm the marketing manager at Teach Boost. And although we are a company, we're putting together a bunch of free resources to support coaches during this unprecedented time that we're going through right now. And one of the things that we've been putting together is a roundup once a week and also on Fridays that just consists of articles that we scrubbed from around the internet and kind of curated for everyone. And a lot of the articles come from, see a lot of familiar names in the chat today. But even like, for instance, last week we put one out about how coaches can support teachers in the transition to distance learning. So
Right.
if you guys are interested, definitely come check out the blog, and we'll be sharing resources too. And we'd love to share anything you guys have. So feel free to reach out to me.
Absolutely. Or email me and we can put them on the webpage too. Awesome.
Yeah, and then one other quick thing, if you don't mind, is right now, obviously relationships are huge with teachers right now. And when you're taken out of the building and put into the online setting, sometimes your stuff can get lost. And one thing we're doing for coaches right now is we have a pilot Teach Boost Coach that syncs with like your calendar. You can upload your notes, these photos, these videos, and these resources that you're sharing with your teachers. So it's all in one spot. And we're looking for coaches to kind of get feedback and put their input for a free pilot for the rest of the year. So once again, just another free tool. I know there's a lot of them out there to support teachers, but we have one that if you guys are interested to support you guys as well. So we'd love to help out where you can. And
Yeah,
thank
cool.
you all.
Thanks for sharing. All right, Megan Ryder, you have a whiteboard feature in Zoom you'd like to share?
Yes, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so a teacher and I were practicing today with Zoom, which I feel like I've been doing a lot of that this week and last week. Teachers who haven't used Zoom before, just having them practice with me. And so then I was on my iPad as if the kids are using their own iPad, and then being on FaceTime with the teacher as well, so they could see me log in and watch my steps so that they feel more comfortable with using Zoom. So as a teacher and I were practicing today, I noticed in Zoom under share content that there's a whiteboard feature. So the teacher and I were just playing around with how kids could draw on the whiteboard. I don't know if anyone can see me drawing
Yeah,
on it right
I can
now.
see it. Yeah.
So kids could write and draw, explain their thinking. There's a couple of more tools. There's like a little laser pointer. But this is just one other way for teachers to connect with their students. They can share their thinking with the whiteboard feature within Zoom, and the teachers could do that as well.
Megan, is this the educator portion of Zoom? Or is it just Zoom overall? Do you know?
You know what? I'm using the Zoom app, and I'm not even logged in right now.
I think this is just the basic Zoom because we were doing it last night.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, and something else to remember, guys, as we continue to chat about this is just, you know, as if you're an instructional coach, is being more facilitative of the teachers right now and listening to them. And just obviously, you know, as we know, teachers may just need to vent and reflect. I feel like, you know, at least in my role, I think that's one of the best uses right now for where we are. 2-3 weeks from now, it may be different, but at least for where we are, at least from my perspective in the district I work in, it's more just a listener and facilitating and helping. But all these resources are absolutely unbelievable. It's like how we just structure giving them out to teachers, right, at certain chunks of time without them feeling overwhelmed. Because again, they're having to, you know, my son's 5th grade teacher, she's got 3 kids at home plus trying to teach a 5th grade class. And so it's difficult. All right, let me go back to the list. Megan Green, Google Meet for coaches for teacher PD.
Hey there.
Hey, Megan.
So I'm definitely not going to show you my face right now because it's 9:30 in Indiana and it has been a really rough Monday.
I'm sorry.
So, no, I was just going to talk about using Google Meet, kind of shifting from using it with students to our coaches using it with teachers. It has been by far one of the best tools for PD that I have ever used. I've been a coach for 2 years, and I have probably done more PD and worked with more teachers in the past week and a half than I have in those 2 years because it's relevant to them. It's the time that they need it. They're reaching out to you for what it's something they want, and it's totally different from, you know, me sending an email here and there or me saying, hey, you want to work with me? Like, they're the ones reaching out because they're forced to, which happens to be a really great thing. I hate to use the word forced because that
Right.
that
No,
just
I'm
changed my
following you.
tone.
I'm following you.
But at the same time, it was like they were forced into it. And so I, as a coach and our instructional coaches in our district are keeping a meet open like for hours of the day. And what happens in my role, so I'm a coach I'm in 5 elementary schools and then 1 intermediate school. So there's 6 buildings of teachers. I keep this meet open all day and teachers are popping in, and then I end up being the one that backs off, and they're learning from each other because they just start talking to each other. And this is, you know, teachers from different buildings, different grade levels, and they're doing exactly what we're doing right now. And it's just been a really great tool for teachers too. So yes, we are definitely using it with students as well. But it's working really well for the adults as, you know, in addition to that. And sometimes they get on and they just want to chat about something non-academic, or they want to cry and I let them, but think about using it in that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Just building up the, you know, like Kathy just mentioned, I was thinking of the community of coaching, you know, like we're all in it together. So that's the list I had looking at if you want to put in the chat, if you want to, someone just asked a question about how different districts are grading. I know it's a hot topic in our district currently. We're having a lot of that discussion. Does anybody want to just kind of jump on and share? And then I'll show everybody the webpage and where everybody can put these amazing resources that I see in the chat tonight.
I'll bring up Massachusetts. So I'm in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Joe. Let me just put my little video thing here on. So in Massachusetts right now, we're on hold. Our Department of Education has told us not to grade anything. We are only to provide, at this point, to provide enrichment activities for students. And we are to just monitor whether they do the enrichment activities or not. There's a lot of discussion on whether to, most of our schools were in the third marking period.
Right.
And so we had like, I think 2 weeks left in the marking period maybe. And maybe 3 weeks. So there's a lot of discussion as to whether to combine the third and fourth marking period and call it a semester. And since we finished the first semester and just have a second semester, and then just make it a pass-fail grade for everybody, for every student.
Right.
A lot of colleges here in Massachusetts, for example, the University of Massachusetts Amherst, which is the flagship campus, is giving all their students pass-fail grades.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I see a lot of comments about grading in different states. Thank you. I saw a question about equity, and I think that's another, ensuring equity for all students, and also someone about districts about IEP. So anybody want to talk about, go ahead, I see, go ahead.
Rachel.
Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
Because that was one of my topics that I had brought up. And so one of the things that I'm in Frisco ISD. I am a former instructional coach back in the classroom for the moment. So we started our e-learning platform last week. It's been incredibly amazing. I'm also exhausted. But we are actually tracking student participation. And a big part of that, from my understanding with our district, has a lot to do with our funding. Because if we don't prove participation and attendance in some way, then that messes up our funding. And I don't know what that's going to look like higher levels as we go through this whole thing. But one of the conversations that we started having, and I think is going to be really important for us all as a community to have, is what does equitable tracking look like? Because I personally have a student right now whose parent is cognitively not capable of doing this on her own. And so is it fair that he's being penalized because his mom can't help him participate? So I teach kinder right now.
Gotcha.
So I think just trying to figure out what that balance is supposed to look like is really tricky.
Yeah.
And we'll keep really talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
And I'd love to chime in on that too, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Heidi Archer. I'm in Forsyth County with you and several others that are on, I think. And I have a kind of an interesting perspective because my daughter has an IEP, so we're managing that at home. But then also I teach co-taught classes. So our big thing has just been flexibility and lots of grace. And, you know, I think that as an instructor of co-taught classes, it's given me the opportunity to think about the different realms of differentiation. You know, we have differentiation by choice, we have differentiation by how it's assessed, we have differentiation by what the product looks like. And I think this is where you need to really keep in mind all of those differences and different things that differentiation can look like.
Right.
We also have a really great platform where we're able to individualize assessments. And so we've been rolling through giving our first quiz, like giving our first test. And one of our teachers who teaches the honors portion of the course that I teach, so they're a little bit ahead of us. We give similar tests. So we kind of used her class where she only has, you know, 3 students who have extended time, kind of as a trial for individually assigning tests with different time limits on them, those kinds of things. So we've been having to get really creative, and it's created a lot of opportunity for some ongoing conversations that I don't know, it's been exciting for us because I don't know that those conversations would have come up if it was the status quo of, oh, well, we have what our differentiation looks like, we have these boxes checked.
Right.
And it's really caused us to think outside the box what we could offer students and ways that we could address that. So
I appreciate that. Sherry St. Clair, I see you're on. Do you want to go ahead and say a few words, thoughts about what you've seen so far tonight?
No, I love this. I love connecting with everybody, and I just put my Twitter feed on the chat just because I would love to keep continuing this discussion. The only thought that I have is that we knew the social emotional learning piece was a strong one, a strong need in our schools before this. And as coaches, we have to keep that in mind as we go through this and after this. You know, we were already seeing our suicides go up in our students, and the students are home with parents who are handling more right now than their shoulders can bear. And so we have to keep that in mind as we coach people and coach leaders. Just hold that close to our heart as we serve people.
Absolutely. Agree 100%. All right. So I want to, as we get ready to close here in the next couple minutes, I want to show, I put the link in the, Kathy, if you can put the link back up to the website. I see there's a ton of questions going on. We're going to do this again in 2 weeks. And sorry guys, I'm not an expert on sharing my screen, so I'm going old school. I got a double laptop situation going on. So I don't know if you can see this. You probably can't, but on the website, there's a link for feedback at the top. If you click that tonight and fill that out, that will get you entered for the book drawing. There's a bunch of authors who are giving away books tonight. That'd be super awesome. You fill that out and I'll raffle those off. And then also on the web page near the bottom, there are the links to all their pages. So you can reach out to them for more information on all the resources they're providing for all of us. There's also best practice for online learning on the webpage. You click on that. For all those links, I've seen a ton of links in the chat box tonight. That's a Google form to fill out, or not a form, but like a spreadsheet to fill out to put your name, the grade level content area, and then that link to all those things. That would be great. Kathy, Kathy put it up there again. I think I see it up there again. And I'll put it on my Twitter page tonight too before we, after we get off. So you can put your stuff there. And then also there's a link to put your contact information. It's really easy to follow webpage. And then to register for the one, we'll do this again in 2 weeks. I think this is a great platform. Hopefully in 2 weeks, I'm guessing we'll have more information to share, what's working, what's not. I appreciate, does anybody have any final close? I see a bunch of comments coming through. Again, guys, this was just an idea of just the social interaction and working together for kids across our districts across the country. And I super appreciate all of you and what you're doing.
Hey, Joe?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jim.
2 quick things. One thing is, these are such crazy times. I think we really need to be forgiving of the people around us, because they're going to do all kinds of crap we've never seen. But we also need to be forgiving of ourselves. We can't move forward if we're upset because we didn't handle it right. Who knew what we were handling? And so I think we need to be forgiving of others, but we have to forgive ourselves. We have to recognize these are just crazy times and they're going to pass. The other thing I wanted to say is just thank you for putting this together. When you asked me about it, I said, oh, I got to read the Hardy Boys to Luke. I don't have time. I can't do it. And then like half the coaching world is on this group. So you've done a fantastic job. Thank you for doing what you did.
Appreciate that, Jim. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's a great way to close. So again, thank you everybody for joining tonight. We'll do this again in 2 weeks. I'll make it much easier on myself and make a registration link since I don't have a secretary at home with 2 kiddos, which is awesome. But thank you guys so much. And this is recorded, so I'll also share this with everybody. Have a great night. Stay safe and stay healthy, guys. We'll talk soon.
Hi.